Well, history has been created today, June 17th, if you look at it. It is the biggest day in Test cricket history. We thought the Ashes might pull off some kind of a historical feat. No. Bangladesh, of all teams, have created history in the 21st century when it comes to Test matches. Because in the one-off Test match that they played against Afghanistan, they have won the Test match by a staggering margin of 547 runs. And this is the biggest victory margin that we have seen in tests when it comes to the 21st century. The previous highest was 492 that South Africa had inflicted on Australia in the 2018 Johannesburg test. But the 547 run win that Bangladesh have had against Afghanistan is the third biggest in test history. The first was 675 runs that England had inflicted on Australia in 1928 at Brisbane. And that test was inauspicious for one certain legend because it was the debut of Sir Don Bradman. Bradman's debut test saw England absolutely thrash Australia by 675 runs. The next biggest was 562 that Australia had inflicted. So, if you look at it, 1928 and 1934, these were the years when the highest victory margins were achieved. Now, you look back at it, 89 years later, the next biggest victory margin has been achieved, 547 runs. It is truly a remarkable feat from Bangladesh. And remember, this one-off test match was not part of the ICC World Test Championship. So one team that is not even part of the World Test Championship cycle and one team that is, they are making a big statement when you look at it. You have to remember that when the two teams last played in 2019, it was Afghanistan who had beaten Bangladesh. But now the tables have totally turned. In Mirpur, it was a proper exhibition from Bangladesh. Centuries in both innings from Nazmul Hossain Shanto. Then you look at it, Mominul Haq's century in the second innings. Combined with the pace bowling trio of Shariful Islam, Ibadat Hossain and Taskin Ahmed have ensured that Afghanistan has suffered one of their biggest losses and Bangladesh have registered the biggest win by a nation in the 21st century when you look at Test cricket. Now, if you look at the way how it panned out, barring day 2, when Afghanistan took 5 wickets for 9 runs, they were never ever in the hunt. So that is why Bangladesh have totally dominated. And remember, this one-off test was not part of the World Test Championship cycle. It is a bilateral series agreement wherein Bangladesh were going to play one test against Afghanistan. Remember, Bangladesh will continue their World Test Championship cycle progress when they play in July, which is the series that has not, we'll have to check that out first. So, Bangladesh has started their 2023 new test cycle on an absolute high by winning by a massive margin. Remember, this is the highest victory margin in the 21st century, beating the previous mark of 492 that was set by South Africa against Australia in the Johannesburg test. Now, if you look at it in this way, 492 and 547, all these victory margins only indicate that test matches are becoming much more extreme. One team can have a dramatic collapse, one team can really score big. We were all wondering why were Bangladesh extending the session and why they were batting on and on and on. Remember, when the lead had crossed 650, at that time, we were wondering, is Bangladesh going to set Afghanistan a target of 800 or something? But then they declared 115. They were all bowled out. And remember, the last over that Taskin Ahmed bowled, it was chaotic. Twice they were denied victory. One, when there was an edge which was given, but Zahir Khan immediately reviewed that. There was no edge. Taskin Ahmed then bowled Zahir Khan 2 balls later, but he was denied because of a no ball. Now, the victory celebrations were delayed and Taskin Ahmed bowled a bouncer that hit Zahir Khan flush on the elbow. He was in pain and because he was in pain, he couldn't continue batting. The match ended. It was in rather chaotic and dramatic circumstances that Bangladesh achieved history. So, for people who are joining us now, it's a big day in Test cricket. 547 run win. A massive innings, a massive win, you may say, for Bangladesh, the biggest victory margin ever in Test history in the 21st century, the third biggest overall. So that is the situation. Rejoice for Bangladesh, heartbreak for Afghanistan. All the success that they had in 2019 has been evaporated. Remember, they were playing with a very weakened, they were playing with a rather B team here. There was no Rashid Khan. There is not many of the Afghan specialists who had given them victory in 2019. So lots to ponder around for Afghanistan cricket, because remember, even in the 3-match ODI series that they played against Sri Lanka, they had won the first game, but then they lost the other two. Now this test match, a huge upset indeed. So Bangladesh have won the one-off test by a huge margin, the biggest victory margin in the 21st century so far. Now let's see what the other series have to offer. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so that you know when we go live, and don't forget we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Thank you.